You got to make a reservation. It's very difficult to get in.
Well, it's okay. I'll use the service entrance. I'll see you at 9.
Welcome
And bienvenidos
to another episode of Service Entrance People. I am Boomer.
And I'm Pixie. Hola.
Hola, Pixie. For those of you who are new to the show, just jumping in, this podcast is for and about the gritty, underpaid, underprivileged service industry workers of the world.
Unite.
We have clearly made some wrong turns in our lives because no matter what, we've ended up here in jobs where no matter our talents, our art, our skills, we end up dealing with the infamous Karens and Florida Man. And Mr. and Mrs. Von Uppity on a daily basis. On the regs, as they say. Day in and day out, we walk through the parking lot of broken dreams, and we enter through this specially marked door. You know the one.
The service entrance door.
That's the one. If you are interested in listening and sharing in war stories of the industry, or if you're curious as to what us,
the help,
are really thinking, we are going to share with you stories of the strange, shocking, and hilarious, because laughing is the only way we can make it through.
Absolutely. This industry is one that we've come to truly love, and although you'll hear horror stories and rants and bitching that we have to work at work.
You son of a bitch.
Well, we kid because we care. I know a lot of you feel that we come along the side of customer bad, restaurant good, but also this is just to educate you. There's nothing in the world that we would rather be doing except maybe
this podcast.
Correctamundo.
Like, seriously, give us grants and stuff. Also, do us a favor. If we're not for you, we understand, and we say just listen anyway. Hate listen, rage listen, binge listen, heckle us, because we know that the only thing that's better than a good horror movie is a terrible fucking horror movie. Let us do that to you / for you. Hashtag, we're not going to do anything to you.
Not without your consent.
Not without your consent. Do you consent to this activity? Please say yes. But also, the easiest thing in the entire world to do is just push play.
And walk away.
That's it. One last disclaimer before we get into other things. This show, like the industries that we cover, comes with some spicy fucking language.
Ay, 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 muy caliente.
Please be forewarned.
Fuego.
Also, as a favor to your two, I won't say favoritist podcast hosts, but two of the people on one of the podcasts that you listen to regularly, do us a favor. Subscribe, share, rate, and review. 5 stars. Leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening to. Help us to move up the charts, but be in remembrance of the fact that as of August 29th, there's going to be no such thing as Stitcher anymore.
Yeah, moves to Pandora. It's a Pandora now.
Right. So that reminds me of you doing it's TikTok. It's a Pandora. So, yes, just if you are out there tuning in on Stitcher, which is a delightful app. Unfortunately, it's going out of Stitchering. It's run out of stitches.
Yeah.
So just switch over to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Audible, Amazon, whatever. If you want to get involved with the show, which is really what we want you to be a part of us because we are a part of you. You can send us stories via our email, serviceentrancpeople@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail at 854-345-7721. No humans will be involved in the picking up of that number. You just call and rant away. Tell us about your day. Tell us about the crazy shit that you've seen in your shift or whatever it may be. We're dying to find out.
You can also message us on Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast, or you can DM us on Instagram at Service Entrance People Pod.
Girl, who all up in your DM?
Hopefully people who love this podcast.
Me too.
Don't forget that you can help support the show by becoming a patron at patreon.com/serviceentrancepeople. You can become a Karen, a Florida Man, a Von Uppity. And what does that include, Boomer?
At all levels of producerships, we will give you free merchandise. We will give you access to special bonus content, and we will say your name at the end of every episode.
So lovingly and so tender.
And I will say, we are almost to the end of the first run of our Service Entrance People t-shirts.
Yeah, I need
So
to get on more artwork.
if you are at all interested in getting that merch, you need to let us know ASAP, because the stuff is about to be
gone. And if you'd like to help out just a little bit because you can't do the commitment every month, don't forget that you can go to PayPal at Service Entrance Peeps and just donate $1 or $1 million, as Boomer likes to say.
Yep, it all helps.
Found some change in your car, you want to throw it at something that you love, throw it at us. Throw change at us. It'll hurt, but we'll accept it.
Be the change that you want in this world, and I want yours. So there you go. All right. That being said, moreover,
Therefore,
let us lock the doors, crank up the tunes, and grab us the
Shifty of the Week.
I literally raised it over my head like it was a sword. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
We're not videoing.
Nobody can see this right now, which we do have a ticking talk, though, at Service Entrance PPL.
Which has just currently one TikTok, so you're not missing much.
We'll do some more.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to start this week.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because I just said I'm going to start this week. Because I
Take
have
it
a
away.
microphone. I am going to stay local to the area we are in, and I am going to drink something from Shell Ring Ale Works, who we have a nice little soft spot in our heart for. They are brewed and canned in Port Royal, South Carolina. Support your local establishments. And I am going to be having a Hop Doctor. It is a hazy IPA with Citra, with an A, El Dorado, and Amarillo hops. Amarillo means yellow in Spanish. 2.5 years of Duolingo right there.
Didn't I? I could swear I drank that.
Really?
Yeah, like...
Because we did do, like, Shell Ring a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm
in a row.
pretty sure I had one of those.
Cool. Awesome. So, my brain is stupid, and you know what? Pixie got this one. I'll do this one too. Question mark. We never said we weren't going to double up.
That's
and
true.
we never said that Boomer wouldn't be stupid enough to drink something that Pixie already drank, but he forgot that she drank it, and so he was going to drink it anyway.
All right. Well, explain the flavor when you get in there.
Hold on. Let's do this here. I was very worried about spillage. That's flavorful, but not overpowering.
What flavor though?
Amarillo and El Dorado.
So it tastes yellow?
It tastes yellow, but hazy yellow, because it's a hazy doctor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, also, 6.5 ABV, which is really the reason I'm drinking this. That's the only reason I chose this one, is because I knew what you were going to drink.
Yep.
And I had to put on my big girl panties, because, well...
You had to keep up with me?
Yeah, I had to keep up with the 5'3" co-host here who's about to rule me on the beer drinking.
All right. So I am drinking some Dirty Beaches.
Dirty Beaches.
Yeah.
That is so perfect for here and now.
Yes.
July in South Carolina.
Some dirty Beaches.
That is so perfect.
It is a tropical wheat. It's 6.3 ABV, and it's from Scofflaw
Hell
Brewing
yeah.
Co.
I've heard of them before. They're in like Georgia or something.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia.
Nailed it.
So let's give it a taste.
What's the one thing you always say with the whole Georgia?
Dropping and crossing.
That's it. You had to explain that to me. That was, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. I got spillage.
That was a great one, and I talked over it, but great pop and crack.
It's really nice.
Yeah?
It's a nice wheat. Not as mild as most wheats. It definitely leans more towards an IPA than a wheat as far as bitter, but not unpleasant.
Is there any hints of sarsaparilla and amarillo?
No. You got more
picadillo?
flavorful there. Yours is more flavorful, but mine is sturdy. It's a sturdy wheat.
All right. Successfully shifting yet again. I would just like to take a moment to say that I won't say criminal, but it is a flying shame that this is still so highly sponsorable.
Yeah,
a segment of the show.
Where are you at? Brewing companies.
Yeah. Now we're hustlers. Just in our normal lives, we bust ass to get the shit that we have. We've busted ass to make this whole podcast operation come available. But for the love of God, you come to us now. God damn it. You come to us.
Yeah, you write that email.
You give me, not me give you.
You say we have all the beer.
You're so good.
So there's so much beer, and
Here.
we need you to tell them about our beer. So no more drinking other beers for you. This is committed relationship. You're locked in. And then we'll do that.
Help us, service entrance people. You're our only hope. That's all that I'm asking for. That's not too much to ask. It might be, though. We probably need to hustle some.
Yeah,
to
we
get
actually
there.
need to go to
We do.
brewery
We've been invited to
companies.
breweries, and we have yet to get our
Yeah.
shits together, so it's our own fault. Okay. Having said that, it is about time just to dive right in to episode 43
In a row?
in a row, to my own physical detriment of service entrance people. This week's episode, Pixie,
Mm-hmm.
is entitled, Are You Taking the Pot? This would be where we talk primarily about drugs in the workplace, I think. In and around and over and under.
Yeah, definitely what you smoking.
Or snorting, or drinking,
Or injecting.
or injecting, or let's face it, you're all on drugs.
You dirty, dirty girl.
So one of the hallmarks of the service industry, especially the restaurant side of things,
Mm-hmm.
is the stellar reputation of its membership, its employeeship, its patronage to be whacked out of their minds on some sort of substance and have that be strangely okay with everyone.
Because we would snap and kill people otherwise.
I mean, there is that part of it. When I was in radio, it was just sort of expected that you were going to drink and probably be on the drugs and whatever. And, you know, hey, woo, rock and roll. Like, just part of the whole fucking thing.
I suppose it is.
And in this, it's very strange because there is absolutely... Now, I've worked at corporate type restaurants where that's not a thing. You get piss tested, like all of that stuff. I've also worked for the mom and top,
You mean mom and pop?
the muffin tops. And with them, it's usually a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
It's more of a like, hey, can you start working? Cool. That's it.
Yeah.
And we've definitely both worked at places where it's like, oh, the kitchen's taking a 5-minute break. All of them. And they're all going to come back smelling like skunky trees and be super into their job for the next hour and a half.
So much ganja.
It's impressive. What's the joke I always like to make when somebody talks about like wanting drugs? And I'm like, you do know that I work near a kitchen, right? Like anything, it's like Willy Wonka back there. Just anything you want.
But
Just
also-
follow your imagination.
But save some.
Yes. And
Bring them to the hookup.
well, it's the best advice ever is don't do drugs. Give them to us. We'll do them for you. And of course, in that, I do. Kid, on that, 7 years. Clean.
Congratulations,
Yep.
sir.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, actually, drugs are very, very bad. You shouldn't do drugs, okay? However, let's have a whole episode celebrating doing drugs or drinking on the job and
We're
being a
not-
fucking mess.
We're not celebrating. We're just pointing out the obvious. We're going to poke a little fun. We're going to poke a little fun at you drug addicts.
Yeah, pokey pokey in the drug addict.
Yeah. Take that.
So before we start, like, with the material that you and I have compiled picks, there was a story, there was a thing that happened,
Mm-hmm.
like, a week ago-ish?
2 weeks ago.
Okay, somewhere between a week and 2 weeks, 10 days maybe. We'll call it 10 days. We'll meet in the middle.
Every day is a week to us. We don't know.
One of the most basic items in restaurant hood is the shifty, right? It's why we do the shifty
Yeah.
of the week. It's honestly, if you can make it through a 10, 11, 12, 14-hour day in a restaurant, I personally, as a human being, think that you deserve a fucking beer. Like,
Free of charge.
yeah, man.
Here you go. Decompress.
You're doing the Lord's work back there, okay? You're either dealing with people, you're cooking in a hot kitchen, you're doing dishes, fucking whatever. Like, you deserve it. You're managing the shit out of a situation, and you've had to deal with all of the Karens, Von Uppities, and Florida men. You deserve a beer.
Yeah.
I'll go to my grave thinking that. Now, however, because it's restaurants, because we like to do things and then overdo them, people take liberties with that, as they do everywhere. So 10 days ago, as we're saying, now you and I will say that's part of the reason also why we do the shifty of the week is kind of as a celebration, as a nod to it. And we're also doing it, in the confines of a studio and having just the one.
Yes.
Except for that one time you got shit hammered on...
Why you gotta keep bringing that up? Why you
'Cause it
keep
was
gotta
so
bringing up the
funny.
past?
That's all right. Why don't you just be like, hey, remember that time you had that codeine cough syrup because you were sick, and instead of just taking a week off,
Yeah, but
you were
I
a
like
blubbering
to
mess?
I like to leave it in the past. There you are, though, just poking. Stop it.
you're laughing and saying I'm schnockered is one of my favorite memories of this whole... When we're doing the retrospective and Green Day is playing in the background, that's going to be the scene. So just so you know. Anyway, so I'm at work somewhere 10 days or so ago, and I realized you can catch people doing stupid things all the time, right?
Of course.
And one of the things that you always look out for is with the whole shifty thing. As you get towards the end of the night,
Yeah.
you're like, now this is outside of like you're just...
What is in the quart container?
Right.
Is
just
it
like,
water?
it's a very strange smelling Diet Coke there, sir.
Yeah.
So, there's just the flat alcoholic members of the community that we know, go to the bathroom and come back reeking of vodka and then go out and do their thing. But it's like the little stuff.
Yeah.
It's catching the corners that you try to do as a manager for myself to ensure that my restaurant isn't a complete fucking mess. So I'm walking past a register one fine day at work, and I noticed that there is a plastic cup of Coca-Cola, and there is a plastic cup of a tea-colored liquid next to it. I'd say 2.5 ounces worth, let's call it.
Okay, so you got like a 3 fingers of a tea color and then a Coca-Cola. But they're like side by side.
Correct. Right next to each other. Now, yeah. So I'm like, I realize that I've seen this one particular server hanging out right by that register quite a bit. And so I go over and I look at it. I put my nose in the old tea-colored liquid. And anybody that's ever worked in a restaurant knows the smell of Jameson.
Oh, God, it's the smell that makes me want to vomit.
You know the smell because for whatever reason, JMO's just a restaurant drink. So it was absolutely a JMO and Coke that a staffer was taking swaps off of whilst going back and forth to their tables.
I don't know why you wouldn't just pour the one into the one and then make it at least look like...
Exactly. If you're leaving it out there like that, what
Yeah,
the fuck are you doing,
I
man?
feel like you wanted to be caught.
I think so, too.
I think it secretly it was a cry for help.
Or I'm just a shitty, ineffective manager and they just don't care.
Yeah.
There's one of those two.
Completely thought they could get away with it.
Yeah. So I absolutely intercepted and then watched as said person rounded back and looked and was like, I had something here a moment ago and it is not here now. What should I do about this conundrum? And I could see the wheels turning of do I try to go and procure more from behind the bar where somebody's probably looking now?
But also I should locate what is missing.
Yeah, exactly. So
did I leave it on a table?
It came down to, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. There were written, typed up words on papers, signed.
Oh, it was a
and
little
exchanged.
event.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It
It
turned
became
into
very formal.
It was a to-do. I will say it was a to-do, but you have to look for that at a restaurant. Unfortunately, there was the story that we told early on.
Yes.
About the cleaners coming into my office one day and being like, hey, there was only one empty Tito's bottle in the men's room this time instead of 2. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I thought that was just a normal thing. There's always 2 empty bottles of Tito's underneath the trash can liner in the back men's bathroom. Oh, well, fuck me then. Okay.
Yep.
So that's just, for whatever reason, it's what we deal with, man.
It certainly is, I mean, on the upside, at least far less egregious than some other things that we've seen.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
I know, I think what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, as far as losing things in the
yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah. Can I? Do you mind
Yeah,
if I?
absolutely.
Okay.
No,
All
go
right,
ahead.
okay.
Take it away.
So, must have been what, last summer?
About. Yeah.
Okay. I'm walking out back to, the parking lot of Broken Dreams
Mm-hmm.
and wandering amongst the trash, as I tend to do sometimes. And I see one of our line cooks head down,
Mm-hmm.
frantically staring at the ground and moving very, very quickly, rapidly, eyes back and forth, eyes back and forth, eyes back and forth, moving between two spots.
Skittering.
Yeah. Just eyes beating a hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, huh, that's weird. That's odd. Probably dropped something. Okay.
I did that when I dropped my Fitbit.
Yeah.
Turned out being in the walk-in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It happens. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And kind of wrote it off instead of being like, hey, man, can I help you find something? I was going to do a thing.
Yeah.
So then, I don't know, 15 minutes later,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, chef calls me into the old manager's office there. He's like, come here. Need to show you something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. He proceeds to pull out a baggie with a white powdery substance in it,
Oh.
which was not his, and he does not use. And I was like,
Because he is also a clean, good member of society.
he is actually. And so we were both like, oh, shit.
Mm.
And then it clicked as to, hey, did you see that cook looking frantically back and forth in the back?
I wonder who it belongs to.
I wonder if this is what he was looking for.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this was a quite sizable, like a paycheck.
It was a healthy amount of an unhealthy substance.
Mm.
We're gonna just get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fair amount.
Okay.
That episode also ended in words on papers and things happening and a whole to do. But it was
a
very
formal talkie.
a little bit more than a formal talkie on that one. But yeah, it was one of those things where and Chef and I were both joking about it and been like, I was like, man, this is like 10 years ago. I would totally just be like, oh well.
Finders keepers.
Yeah, man. Okay, I'm gonna let's just fucking book out on that one. And both he and I were like, yeah, thank God we're too old for this shit.
Oh my.
So yeah, that's thank you for reminding me that. I totally would have.
That's okay.
We would have done this episode, and I would have been editing, and you'd have been like, "Oh, you should have told that story." Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Good call, Pix.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. Anyway, I have a little bit of a tale for you, if you don't mind.
Pixie. If we're not here for that, what the fuck are we doing?
This is secondhand, verbal. This is a verbal telling.
Secondhand verbal does kill.
Yes. From a tattoo artist in North Carolina who's a very lovely, God-filled man. And he was telling me about this woman who came into the tattoo parlor and was being tattooed by the owner. She's
Okay.
a lovely, also lovely female Christian lady. Not really familiar with the dregs of society, which you would think most tattoo artists are yet accustomed to. So she's tattooing this woman. And from everyone else's vantage point, you pills. She's doing the bob. She's blacking out in the chair here and there.
Mm.
And then finally, just full on out cold.
Wow.
After the out cold, she comes to.
Like, did the tattoo artist notice they just
Oh
passed
yeah,
out cold thing?
of
Or,
course,
okay.
of course. And they keep smelling salts and things on hand. But this woman was so out that those things were not, I think, registering for her.
Jesus.
So the owner was completely, again, startled because she is kind of like sheltered, I would say, and wasn't used to this. So she was concerned for the woman's safety. When the woman wakes up, she has no clue where she is. But on top of that, she has no clue what she's getting a tattoo of.
No.
So I am not okay with this. I did not consent to this activity. For what are you tattooing on me, madam?
You wanted the dick that veiny. You specifically
Yeah.
said, I need veins on that motherfucker.
And 3, she had also peed her pants.
Oh, yes.
In the tattoo
Yes,
chair. So, of course,
yes.
the owner was like, ma'am, can I help you? Can we clean you up? Let's clean you up.
Yeah.
And let's figure out what we're going to do to salvage the situation.
Let's really clean you up, though.
Yes.
Like, why don't we go somewhere?
Now, I had a similar-ish. Mine was much less more. It was more mild. It was like your drinker there.
Yep.
Where I had, and this was one of the only times I had this happen. And I was speaking to the tattoo artist specifically about this instance, which is people who cry when they're being tattooed. Now it's very common when you're tattooing someone that usually if it's a tattoo that signifies something important to them, they will be thinking about that thing and it becomes an emotional experience.
Right.
And it's very common for that to happen. Or just if a friend is by or a husband or a girlfriend and they say something particularly sweet.
Or the husband's girlfriend.
Yes, whatever. The husband to the, husband's husband
Why
loves
are you
him
getting
so much. And
Mandy
yes.
tattooed on your butt?
Yeah, it just, they well up. They're overwhelmed with emotion, and that's very common. However, I had a very much a beefcake bodybuilder of a man.
Beefcake.
Yeah, like the not doctor, but surgeon that we have.
Yeah.
Very much a
inflatable balloon muscles.
Yes, clearly you're not that big naturally, sir.
Yep.
And I was tattooing him on his pectoral, which is not a really intensely ouchy spot.
It's a man titty, but it depends. Like, I mean, I have the chesterly tattoos, and since I'm not very
girthy?
chesty,
Yes,
it's tender.
Yeah, but he was very girthy.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm particularly actually light-handed. So I don't really dig in there too much. I try to keep it fair and even, mostly because I don't want you bleeding all over the place. And when I was tattooing in Florida, you never know what substances you might be on, which might be causing the bleedy. So I try to be gentle. And this man burst into tears like a child who was scolded at. Just, I mean, it's running down his face. He's doing the, and I'm like,
God, stop moving.
Yes,
first of all, Jesus,
please, just, are you okay? Am I hurting you? Are you all right, sir? And I really think it was just, I've been injecting myself for many weeks now, and I don't quite know how to feel.
You had some other things going on.
Yeah, big things happening.
Wow. My buddy David Kleiber up at Bluebird Tattoo in the Dayton metro area. He actually has a couple locations out there. But he and I he would regale me with stories of the people that he would tattoo. And it was always like, I would go in there and, he did one in my armpit that fucking was just brutal, and he laughed at me while he was doing it. And I was like, and I didn't try to hide the fact that it hurt, but I'm a little guy. And he's like, little guys like you totally can do anything. It's the big ones
that are the
like
biggest
fucking
babies.
Just done.
Now, for me, I have 2 nautical stars in my armpits, and same type of situation. I was getting tattooed at a place called Mighty Mike's in South Florida, so shout out to you guys. And they were doing, the nautical stars are made out of tiny lines. It's not your standard flash. Like, this is a very actually intricate, so of course I made it quite difficult on myself and made it like an hour a piece on just like certain sections. So yeah, it was quite intricate. And there was a man next to me who was groaning over like a bicep tattoo. And the guy who was tattooing me is like, really? The little girl's fine getting it in her armpits, and you're over here making a scene.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it happens.
I have a double nautical star.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah. One last one really quick, because I always used to. So Dave would, his big thing is he would be tattooing somebody that he didn't know.
Yeah.
And would always pause for a second. And not always, but for enjoyment. If his friends were around, he would pause for a second and then say just barely audibly, "Oh, I can fix that." And then go back to doing it. It was the funniest fucking thing ever. And the person would always snap their head around, and he would just have this big Cheshire cat grin on his face. Like, no, don't worry. You're good.
For
You're
me
good.
personally, I'm a nervous chatter.
Yeah.
Like especially if I don't know the artist and I'm getting tattooed, I do tend to talk quite a bit, which I know as an artist is quite frustrating because you need to time out breaths. So my whole loophole in this is when I used to tattoo people, I would put on cartoons.
There you go.
Everybody loves cartoons.
Like children.
And you
Watch
would
the
just,
cartoons.
watch some cartoons, shut the hell up so I can do what I'm doing.
You're like me. If there's empty space, you'll fill it with talk until the other person says something to break it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about you take us back, though, to the good old days? Remember the days in the kitchen when you could whap somebody upside the head with like a pan?
Oh my God, the quote unquote good old days.
Yeah.
There is nothing better than the reminiscing upon the quote unquote good old days. Like, remember the 50s? Racism.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all of that toxically nastiness that gets wrapped into the whole notion of it being the good old days. Well, when it comes to restaurants, the good old days, especially in kitchens, included the days when, like, when I was learning how to be a cook, the executive chef used to throw pans at us and fucking stab us in our hands and chop off pieces of our fingernails if we did something wrong.
What?
Like, that's literally
That's
like,
excessive.
No, it's so true. If you read Kitchen Confidential, like Tony Bourdain, like all of those old stories. And the thing that people love nowadays is the whole Gordon Ramsay, like, yelling at people, but it's safe, right?
Because he's just calling you a fucking Muppet.
It's all bluster, you know?
Yeah.
There's no actual, like, violence behind him. Like,
He's not going to harm you.
Nobody takes Gordon Ramsay's threats seriously. They just don't.
Yeah.
But in, like, I don't want to say real kitchens, because Ramsay obviously works in real kitchens, but
He does?
not on television, though. But in real kitchens, there are still cooks, chefs, staff who thinks that the times haven't changed.
Yeah.
Like, it's still the good old days.
Yep.
So we've got this kitchen prep guy who has absolutely, in his mind, 100% agreed with himself that everything is just the same as it used to be.
Is it like a pact? Did he make
Yes.
a pact with himself or a
Yes.
code? He has a code?
Every day
Man
he
got to
looks
have
at
a
himself
code.
in the mirror
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, nothing after 1964 has happened.
Oh,
Go.
lovely, lovely.
And so his whole thing is that if he doesn't want to do a thing that he's asked to do, or in his estimation, it's unreasonable,
Mm-hmm.
like an unreasonable ask, he will just straight be like, let's go out back and I'm going to fuck you up.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, fuck you for asking me to prep this thing. That's fucking bullshit. I'm going to fight you now.
Okay.
All up in the face and everything.
How does this get the food done?
It doesn't. That's the thing. Like, honest to God, I have tried to cook a hamburger off of I'm going to fight you in the parking lot. Don't work. It does not. It does
doesn't
not
make
heat
the
it up.
burgers.
Not even a little bit. You would think from all that burly manliness that was going on with it that clearly a flame would break out and I could charbroil, but no.
No.
I just slurred that.
Yeah, you did.
6.5.
How you feeling about that 6.5 ABV?
I'm so a lightweight.
Yeah.
God damn me for making fun of you earlier this episode. That's
Well,
bullshit.
I feel like that's karma. Is
Karma? You know what? Karma was just like, I'll fight you out back. Yeah, that's right, Boomer.
So is this just stuck to the kitchen? Or does this, like, is he like this with just everyone?
Oh, no. Yeah, no, it isn't just like interkitchenal. It's with
Okay.
anything.
Okay. Like machines?
He rages against the dishwasher machine. Okay.
He takes it out back and he fights it?
Yes. I will take you and fuck you up, ice cube maker.
See him out
flat
there with the
top.
microwave. He's just beating it with an extension cord.
The only thing that I wouldn't screw with is the fryer.
Yeah, no, you don't mess with
Fryer
the fryer.
don't
The
fight
fryer's
fair.
gonna win.
It
the
don't fight
fryer's
fair.
gonna win.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
money's on the fryer.
But all of the other machines, plus human beings in that restaurant, he will rage against. There will be servers.
They
The
have
fuck you doing
nothing
putting
to
in that
do.
order?
They have nothing to do with the food.
Why'd you fucking put in that order? Why'd you do your fucking job? I'm gonna fight you.
How
a
dare
thing.
you ask me for that dish?
It's a thing. There are people in every fucking kitchen who still think that that's totally acceptable.
Oh my God, sir.
Do you think, like, in real work environments, like at a bank, like the vice president of a bank is like, fuck you, fuck your loan, I'm gonna fight you? I don't think that happens in the real world.
No, but you don't know if he's like, Tom, You're our lowest sales rep of the fucking month. And you know what that means. Take your shirt off. We're going out back.
It's fucking Fight Club time. Like, my dad was a university professor, and I never heard stories of back in the good old days when the dean used to fucking beat the shit out of people. Like, it's not a thing.
Maybe
it doesn't happen.
Maybe that's what's wrong with the world.
That's probably why my dad had a fucking ulcer and almost bled to death at one time. Because, he was just bottled up all of that rage for not being able to fight people on the faculty.
Or punch students.
Yeah. They do frown upon punching students. That's real. #, don't pound on your students. In any form.
In any way.
In any way. I like that you went there with that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Boomer.
And Pixie, hola.
We are here and so excited to be brand ambassadors for Reaper Apparel Company. We could not be more proud to have joined their roster and get to promote their brand and whole community.
Just like we have battled anxiety and depression, so have the folks at Reaper Apparel Company, and they know the present is not something to be wasted.
Yeah, it's all about trying to be the best version of ourselves every day and making our dreams come true, like we are here at the Service Entrance People podcast, and the folks in Reaper are too. So please join the Reaper community, check them out, go to reaperapparelcode.com, use the coupon code Service Entrance People to get 10% off your gear, plus check the links in the episode description, our Facebook and Instagram to get 15% off as well.
That's reaperapparelco.com, promo code Service Entrance People. Smooth transition.
I love a smooth transition.
We actually
Cut
have
to.
Yeah. And this time I'll allow the cut to.
All right.
We actually have not one, but multiple emails from Cody in Michigan.
Hey, Cody in Michigan. Thank you for listening to the program. Thank you for
Hola.
writing us your stories.
However, I'm just going to read the one this time, and
Okay.
you'll have to tune in next time for more of Cody's workplace shenanigans.
Are we, quick question,
Yes.
are we at like content producer Cody in Michigan level?
Yes, we
Fuck
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Cody
right.
shot up into the stratosphere in
Hell
one
yeah.
go.
All right.
So,
Just
yeah.
all over us.
Cheers.
Just story all over us.
So many stories. This one is about a thing called hash bash.
It sounds like it makes sense when we were talking about the marijuanas earlier.
Well, it makes me think of hash browns, and I love hash browns.
Oh.
Anyway,
God, yeah.
Cody says the absolute worst day to work, and I worked a double.
Was hash bash?
Yeah, hash bash.
Where was this, by the way?
This is
we know Cody's in Michigan, but
Ann
like,
Arbor.
Okay, all right. I'm like,
Okay.
there's an actual town involved? Yes,
Yes,
cool.
yes.
I've been to Ann Arbor.
I have not.
It's in Michigan.
Like other restaurants, Cody says that, pets are not allowed indoors.
Truth.
This is normally applicable to dogs, since dogs seems to be the animals that people seem to have with them.
Most common to take a walk. Yeah.
Well, it was the first half of the first shift
Of hash bash.
of hash bash
Hashtag hash bash 2020.
when it was busy, but these people who came in, right? They were completely stoned. So
So it was weed. It was a hash bash. It was marijuanas.
oh, really? Is that like a thing?
Smoking hash?
Oh,
Oh,
like hashish. Okay. You can clearly tell
drugs.
I'm not a pothead. Anyway,
Groovy, man.
yeah. So these people were completely stoned, and
Keep going. Just keep going.
and Cody says, "While I was putting in the order, I look around, and the man is sitting there at a high top with a live hawk on a wooden staff."
Oh, dude.
Like he's Gandalf.
Oh,
Like
mm.
he's a wizard.
When you're done with this story, I have
Yeah.
something to add.
Okay. All right, calm down. So, since we never really encountered this sort of thing at the business before, it was just like too busy to discuss. So, they feigned ignorance, let the hawk stay there. The hawk sat calmly on the staff during the entirety of the guest stay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Was that man a Beastmaster? Was the hawk, in fact, his eyes?
I do not know.
Because that would make sense.
Okay, then.
No?
No.
Never seen
I mean,
Beastmaster?
of course I did. He had ferrets. I love ferrets. Don't be stupid. You know what a group of ferrets is called?
A weasel?
A business. a business of ferrets, and they're up to Weasley business.
And it's business time.
Oh, it's
They have
business
business
time,
socks
baby.
on because it's
They
business
do.
time.
They're adorable.
Funny you should mention the bird thing, Cody, because I have pictures that we can post on our socials of a couple weeks ago, ... however interminate time that was, a husband
It was
and
actually
wife.
months ago. Months.
A husband and wife came and sat at our outside bar
Mm-hmm.
with their pet birds that they had on leashes, but also like on their shoulders. So they took them out of a little carrier, they had a little leash thing on them, and then they put them on their shoulders, and the birds just fucking hung out, just on the shoulder. They had trained them just to go to the bar and
You know how
chill.
they did that? They broke their spirit.
Oh, man. I don't know. I would be like, hey, bird, I'll make you a deal. I'll take you out of this fucking cage. We can go to the bar. You just got to chill.
Yeah, but you broke the bird's spirit to the point where he's like, I'm not even going to try to get away. This
I think
stone
you're just so
hippie is just
you're
keeping
so
me here.
Well, the pot smoke helps from the hashish
Bash.
of hash bash. Oh wait, you don't mean like a potted plant, do you?
Shut up. I was thinking of hash browns. I was excited for hash browns.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm a fat kid, not a stoner.
Well,
Anyway.
if you get stoned and you eat your hash browns, then we both win. Everybody's happy and gets to go home. Cody, thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank you,
not just
Cody.
this, but we've got many fun stories
plethora.
upcoming. Yeah. And we will, with Cody, wrap up episode 43
Yes.
of Service Entrance People, which, of course, has been entitled, Are You Taking the Pots? Which, again, Pixie, it's not a reference to potted plants
I'm gathering.
or the Pottery Barn.
Pottery Barn is just lovely, isn't it?
I don't know if we'll be able to get there. I
I
don't know if we'll have the
time.
time. Yeah, exactly. All right.
I've actually never been to Pottery Barn, but I would assume it's delightful.
It's like a barn only with pottery in it.
Exactly. And
is
who doesn't
pretty
love
much how I
barns
would-
and pottery?
There are two things together, that go well.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what else goes well? Two
Boomer
things.
and Pixie and
No.
podcasting.
Two things that go well are executive producers Chris Moore and Chuck
Hey!
Cumberland.
Yes, it is. You know what are three things that go together?
What?
Content producers Chef Hope,
Oh.
Jeff Teal, and Cody from Michigan.
Oh, thank you, content producers.
And I also do want to slide a quick other thank you to Andy Lyon, who is a listener.
Yes.
Is also a brand ambassador for Reaper Apparel Company and has just been a super, super nice, supportive guy.
Yeah.
Helping sort of,
Thank you kindly.
do some stuff with us. So thank you very much to him as well. It's appreciated. And you guys are appreciated for listening to us as well. Please don't take our next statements for saying it's not enough that you just listen to us. But sometimes if you listen to us and you want to do more, we've got more for you.
If you would like to be like Chris Moore and Chuck Cumberland and be super cool, you can join patreon.com/serviceentrancepeople and become a Karen, a Florida man, a Von Uppity,
Hell
and
yeah.
produce our show. What does that include, Boomer?
It includes access to bonus material as well as free stuff. And if you get yourself in soon, you will get some of the first edition Service Entrance People t-shirts while they still last.
Awesome. And if you would like to be a content producer where you just don't kind of have the funds, but you want to contribute a little something anyway, you can go to serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com and send us an email, or you can go to Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast and send us a message, or you can DM us on Service Entrance People Pod, because it's all meta, baby.
Who's all up in your DM?
Hopefully people who love this podcast.
And
But Boomer, if they can't do the full commitment of either of those things, what can they do?
well, for just a one-time donation of $1 to $1 million, you can hit us up on PayPal at paypal.com at Service Entrance Peeps. Or it's just, at Service Entrance Peeps. That's right. You usually read that. So
Yeah.
I'm working my way through it here.
You'll get there eventually.
I will. At some
Don't
point.
forget that you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Audible. Stitcher will no longer be a thing, so that's going to go back to
August
Pandora.
29th.
Yeah. Amazon Podcast, Anchor, Simplecast. Do not forget that we also have a YouTube channel. If that's your jam, go to YouTube at Service Entrance People. In case you have a hearing impaired member of the family or a friend, we do have closed captioning on there for them.
We certainly do. We have a ticking talk, which is at Service Entrance PPL. Also, don't forget, if you want to share your stories with us via your voice, you can go to our voicemail. Just give us a call, 854-345-7721. No people will talk to you when you call. Not a single person.
And if it cuts out, just call again.
Back.
Yeah, call again and just keep going, and we will patch it all through so that way it's one cohesive message.
The magic of editing.
Yup.
All right, Pix. I think we've done the Lord's work here today.
Yeah, ready to hit that dusty trail?
I am ready to drive off into the distance. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And, of course, next Wednesday, noon at night, a.k.a. midnight o'clock, another episode of Service Entrance People. Thank you for tuning in. I am Boomer.
And I'm Pixie. Adios.
What can I say? I won't give it up.
What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Chartrand. I'm a singer-songwriter based in Phoenix, Arizona, and I started a podcast called So the Story Goes with Brian Chartrand. It's a podcast that connects with creatives, mainly creatives here in Phoenix, but also international touring artists, names that you definitely will recognize. And we talk about everything from pop culture to music to art, how they stayed creative during the pandemic. It's a lot of fun, especially if you love music, and I know you do. I'm also old friends with your dear friend, Boomer. I hope you check out So the Story Goes. I think you'll dig it. You can find it at Apple Podcasts, on Amazon. Join us for the next conversation. We're celebrating 100 episodes. Thanks for listening.